because we are ready to play baseball and play on time. Game 2 of this 3-game series between the Cubs and the Reds. I hope everybody's finally dry. And hi again, alongside Chris Welsh, I'm Tom Brenneman. Welcome to Reds Baseball. This Cub team came away 4-2 winners last night. Not a big game necessarily for Aramis Ramirez, but certainly we've seen through the years, Chris, this guy's knocked in over 100 runs, 6 of the last 8 seasons. He's a big reason they're winning games.
Well, no question about that, Tom. And he's a guy that drives in big runs for him. And when he's in the lineup, he shows you how important he is to the Chicago Cubs. When he's on the DL, the Cubs are 2 games under 500. Their run production per game in the mid-3s. When he's back off the disabled list, how about 16-9, and they're scoring more than 5 runs a ball game. He's a great breaking ball hitter as he gets older and older. Not only he's always been able to crush left-handed pitching, but he's become very good at hitting right-handed sliders. That used to be the pitch that used to get him out. Now it's a pitch he takes and hits the ball hard the other way, and that's why he's one of the most difficult outs in the National League.
Well, the man trying to take care of him in silence at bat along with the rest of the Cubs is Johnny Cueto. He'll be on the mound, and we'll talk about this matchup against Tom Gorzelati when we return. Day in Greater Cincinnati, the Reds and the Cubs in Game 2 of this 3-game series. The finale tomorrow night in our G pitching matchup. Tom Gorzelani, just traded over from the Pirates to the Cubs, makes his Chicago debut against Johnny Cueto.
Well, at one time, Tom Gorzelani was one of the up-and-coming left-handed stars the Pittsburgh Pirates had in their covey of southpaws. And you can see by the early numbers in his career back in 2006, his first opportunity really when he got the start for the Pirates. But his big year was right here in 2007. And boy, he had a big year, too. 3.88 earned run average, 14 wins, 200 innings. They thought they had a left-hander that they would keep for a very, very long time. And then something happened. He got off the rail, and you can see that last year he was 6-9 and an earned run average over 6.5. He spent a lot of time down in the minor leagues this year. He's trying to rekindle his career, and he's getting an opportunity to start again here with the Chicago Cubs. And the Reds have seen him before, and we'll see what happens this evening when he does face the Reds. Johnny Cueto, he was one of the best pitchers in the league up until the end of the month of June. His earned run average was low. His batting average against him was very low. And then something happened to him in the month of July that made him one of the worst pitchers in all of baseball. He hopes to snap out of it here in his first start in the month of August. If Johnny Cueto stays behind the ball and pitches much with the same attitude that Aaron Harang did last night, this young man will be okay.
All righty. Cubbies and the Redlegs set to tee it up in Game 2. All the action right around the corner on Fox Sports Ohio. Listen, Chrysler engineered beautifully. By State Farm, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. By Dodge, grab life. Just for men, stay in the game with Just for Men hair color. And by Skyline Chili. You know it's Skyline time when you get that craving for a Skyline three-way or cheese conies. Well, the Skyline still mostly cloudy in downtown Cincinnati. Temperatures at 69 degrees, the humidity up, but a very comfortable night. And hopefully we can get this one in before further rain rolls into the area. The Cubs with a victory here last night sent the Reds to their 7th consecutive loss at Great American Ballpark. One shy of the Great American Ballpark record of 8 in a row 1 year ago. And the Reds' overall longest losing streak since 0-7 back in 2007. The Reds haven't lost more than 7 straight games since an 8-gamer in 2005. And boy, Chris, during this streak, the 7 straight losses, The team ERA is over 5. The team is hitting 181.
Well, that's a bad combination right there, especially when part of that team earned run average the Reds have is really marked by the number of runs they give up in the first inning. And Johnny Cueto is one of the biggest culprits of all. His batting average against in the first inning is way higher than it is any other time in the ball game. So it is so important for this young man to come right out of the chute tonight, put a 0 on the board, get some confidence going, and got to get his sea legs where he gets his rhythm a little bit. But take a look at his first inning. His earned run average in the first inning is closer to 10 than it is to really any other number out there. An on-base percentage of .374. He has given up overall this year, Cueto, 18 home runs, and 7 of those have come in the first inning. So obviously this guy has to come into a ball game a little more mentally prepared. It's not about getting loose. It's not about, finally finding your release point when you're on the mound. It's all about mental preparation. It's like being a horse in the starting gate, and that gun goes off and the bell rings and that gate opens. You got to be ready to pound the strike zone, and that's the attitude Johnny Cueto has to have tonight when he comes out here firing against the Cubs.
Let's take a look at Lou Pinilla's starting lineup tonight. It'll be Kosuke Fukudome leading off in center field. Ryan Theriot at short. Derek Lee, the first baseman. Ramos Ramirez in the cleanup spot down at third. Right fielder Jake Fox will bat fifth. Alfonso Soriano, very good numbers against Cueto, will bat sixth and left. The latter third of Mike Fontenot, Coy Hill, and Tom Borzolani. There you see the numbers Chris referred to a moment ago. Through the month of June, the earned run average at 286, and look at the opponent's batting average down at 231. But then through July, the wheels have fallen off for Johnny Cueto. He'll try and get it all together here tonight. The Cubs in a first place tie, a virtual first place tie, in the National League Central Division with the St. Louis Cardinals. The Cardinals had the night off last night. First pitch fastball to Fukudome is high, and this game underway. Houston has won back-to-back games. They're 4 back. Milwaukee's won 2 in a row. The Brewers also 4 back. 2-0 on Fukudome. Cueto going off the pitching mound and going to the rosin bag, climbs back up the hill, toes a rubber. And here comes a 2-0 to Fukudome. In there, a fastball strike. Cardinals open up a series tonight in New York. 2-2 to Fukudome.
Boy, he's a patient hitter, is he not? I mean, he has come a long way for a guy that has not been around American baseball in the major leagues for all that long. And he has become a very valuable leadoff hitter, much better than what Soriano was at the top of the order. Just by the number of pitches he sees, by his on-base percentage, which is .388. Compare that to .314 of Alfonso Soriano. Doesn't have anywhere near the power that Soriano does, but still, you want your leadoff guy on base and to work the pitcher, and Fukudome does that.
Payoff pitch, and it's in the air, hit hard into right field, and there's some power from Fukudome. 1-0 Chicago. So the first inning struggles for Johnny Cueto, along with so many other of these Red starting pitchers. Continues.
Well, this pitch very much in the same spot that the pitch last night that Mike Fontenot hit out of the ballpark on Aaron Harang in the second inning. A high fastball, and Fukudome loves the ball up there. He kind of bails out a little bit with that swing, and he rips it out of here for a solo shot to put the Cubs on top.
This ball blasted into right center field, and Taveras at the warning track tracks it down. Theriot, a hard hit ball, but an out. Take a look at the Reds defensively, presented by Ford. You've seen Taveras. Vladimir Valentin, a young man that Chris Welsh has talked a great deal about, gets his first start with Johnny Gomes in right. Gonzalez, Phillips, and Votto third to first. Cueto and Hannigan the battery. Derek Lee digging in. Fastball up under his chin. We'll see Valentine perhaps tonight, Chris, get 4 ABs.
Well, the only way you're able to evaluate a young player is to let him play. And I happen to be happy that he's in the lineup. I know the word is from Seattle. In fact, from a former Red in Seattle, Ken Griffey Jr. passes on the word that this guy has immense power going to right field. So let's hope that he's able to stay behind the ball and drive the ball a little bit and show us some of that power.
Well, you know, I brought it up last night how you had an eye on him even during batting practice since he came on board with the Reds, and obviously Ken Griffey Jr. backing up what you saw right away. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Good breaking ball there, down and away from Lee, and there are 2 gone in the inning.
Boy, Derek Lee came into this ball game so hot. At least until last night's ball game, very hot, and Aaron Harang cooled him off nicely. A nice little breaking ball right there. The tight spinner by Johnny Cueto puts him away.
Aramis Ramirez, we talked about him just prior to the first pitch and what a difference he has made since coming off the disabled list in his Cub lineup. 6 of the last 8 years. He's knocked in over 100 runs. And he's pretty doggone good down at third base, too. Now, he's not moving as well as we've seen him in the past as far as his range is concerned. There was a ball that was hit last night that in past years he'd have stuck in his pocket. Was unable to get to it. Turned out to be a hit. But he's getting better every day. From Cueto, and starting to say Ramirez, one of the hitters all around baseball who's built a reputation of swinging 3-0, and he takes a big hack on a 3-0 pitch and fouls it away. A 95-mile-per-hour fastball up in his zone is fouled straight back.
Yeah, probably up and out of the zone right there, but he's an aggressive hitter. I mean, he is obviously up there to get on base, but if you give him a fastball on a 3-1 count, there's a pretty good chance he's going to be wheeling that lumber.
Walked it. Jake Fox getting a start in place of Milton Bradley in right field tonight. Fox can play a little bit of anywhere. Can play in the infield. He is their backup catcher. And tonight starts in right. Well, you go back to the end of June when he's started to see some semi-regular playing time. This guy in 30 games has knocked in 25 runs. With 8 home runs, 6 doubles, and a .315 batting average. Cubs don't know yet if he has a quote-unquote everyday position where you could plug him in, leave him there, and play every day. But they know one thing: he can hit. Hard one hopper at Gonzalez, and that'll end the inning. But a leadoff home run by Fukudome. Cueto and the Reds come to bat, trailing 1-0. has Willie Taveras in center. Adam Rosales again for Scott Rowland down at third. And Joey Votto. Over the last couple of years, he's done major damage against the Cubs. He'll hit third. Brandon Phillips, a cleanup hitter at second. Johnny Gomes in right, and there's Vladimir Valentin. He's in left. Alex Gonzalez at short. Ryan Hannigan catching. Johnny Cueto on the hill. What has happened to Tom Gorzelani?
Well, it's all about control. And Tom Gorzelani last year essentially doubled the number of walks he had from the year before. We showed you what good numbers he had when he won 14 ball games for the Pittsburgh Pirates a couple of years ago, but he just has simply lost his control. He gained a little bit of that down in the minor leagues, and he pitched pretty well down in Indianapolis. That's where the Pittsburgh Pirates AAA franchise is. 4-3 record with a 2.4 run average. But he's getting a whole new lease on life right here with a ball club that is contending.
You know, the one thing you often hear that you use a little more patience with left-handers than right-handers as young pitchers. Gorzelani just turned 27 years old. And on an 0-1 pitch, Taveras pops it up to the left side, and that's one away. The Cub defense presented by Ford. Soriano, Fugidome, Fox in the outfield. Lee, Fontenot, Terrio, Ramirez first to third, and again Coy Hill. Well, what an iron man he's been behind the plate. Talked about it last night. He has started now 25 consecutive games behind the plate. On the first pitch, a fly ball to left by Rosales, and back to the wall, dropped by Soriano. And here comes Rosales to third, diving headlong. The ball gets away, but Gorzelani will track it down. Well, Soriano is certainly not known for his defense, and if there's an Achilles heel on this Cub team, it would be their defense in the corner outfield position.
And he gets back on this in plenty of time, but that ball carries, I think, a little farther than he thought it would. Right over the very top of the scoreboard area on the left field wall. And Adam Rosales, hustling as always, will book it on into third base. The ball hits him as he starts his dive, and that ball got away and nearly went down to the screen behind home plate, but they'll hold him at third base with a 3-base hit.
So now Votto with a golden chance, gold-plated chance to tie this game up at the very minimum. The Cubs conceding the run in the middle infield. There's ball one away to Joey. So a one-out triple by Adam Rosales. And you know he has a lot of family and friends watching this game back in the Chicagoland area tonight. Born and raised there, still lives there in the offseason. That's his first career triple. If there's ever a prime example about why you go hard all the time when the ball is put in play, that's it right there. Most guys would be standing at second. But because of the way Rosales goes so hard all the time, he's able to get the extra 90 feet with one out in the inning. Outstanding numbers in every category for Votto, and runners in scoring position no different. 3-1. So now the 3-1 to Votto, looking for something to hammer. Pulled the string on him there and had him way out in front. That's a good pitch by Gorzelani.
Well, Gorzelani should be very tough against left-handers. He's a big guy, 6'2", about 230 pounds, and he throws across his body a little bit. That gives left-handers a little bit of a crossfire look at him. And that was either a cutter or a slider right there that he threw into. Forget those numbers this season. He hasn't pitched enough to really worry about it.
Threw a fastball right by Votto. 2 away in the inning.
Well, after he had him set up with a slider, he throws that fastball on the outside corner right by him.
It's up to Brandon Phillips to try and tie this game up. First pitch fastball in there, a strike. Borzolani ahead 0-2. Well, he's coming after these two 3-4 hitters in the Reds lineup after falling behind Votto 3-1. Pulled the string on him to get the foul ball. But then threw a fastball by Votto for strike 3 and nothing but gas to Brandon Phillips to get ahead 0-2.
He's not trying to trick him out there right now. It's essentially rearing back and playing Powder River.
One and two to Phillips. Runner at third, 2 out. And a fastball up around his chin is swung on and missed. A missed chance early for the Reds.
And that line drawn by me on the telestrator is really right over a line at the very top of the screen here. Right around here is where Johnny Cueto drew a line in the dirt to kind of keep him on alignment to home plate. But if you follow the line all the way to home plate, it doesn't really give you a shot to home. It's a line to the inner part of the batter's box on right-handers. And you kind of line up wrong from the very beginning. And that's one reason when Johnny Cueto is really going right, he's able to hit this part of the plate out here, not this part of the plate. That's a very easy spot for a right-handed pitcher. But to hit that outside corner for a right-handed pitcher, that's a tough spot to get to. And when he's able to do that consistently like he was early in the year, that is when Johnny Cueto will regain the kind of stuff and the magic that the Reds see in him, and they think that he'll be a #1 pitcher in the rotation.
Tried that outside corner and just missed it.
And the problem, Tom, is when you're pitching and you're throwing across your body a little bit and you're trying to go to the other side of home plate, you have a hard time clearing your hips to get out there. And when you do try to get out there, you end up falling off towards first base a little bit, and the ball sails on you. It sails high. Your breaking balls don't finish. Aaron Harang was a good example of that last night. He corrected all of his mechanical problems last night and got out over his front leg. That's the next challenge for Johnny Cueto.
Struck him out on a high fastball at 95 miles per hour.
Did that one nicely. Get out over your front leg, get good extension, and good extension right there for Cueto. He's always going to fall a little bit off to the first base side, and there's nothing wrong with that as long as you stay over the rubber and drive towards home plate. Of course, it helps when you have gas at 95 too.
Fastball away to Mike Fontenot. Hit a big 3-run home run in the second inning against Aaron Harang yesterday. Jam shot pop up into short left. Ballantine coming hard, and the ball drops in front of him and rolls by him. And Fontenot will stop at second base. Obviously, the footing is not all that good in the outfield grass. Naturally, the infield was covered all day through all the rain we have. I got to imagine it's a little delicate in the outfield.
Yeah, you know, you try to put the brakes on, you may end up on the seat of your pants, and the ball's going to get by you anyway right there. But he got in no man's land. He came up on that ball so closely that once you realize you're not going to be able to make the catch on a fly, it's time to back off, circle up, and make sure the ball doesn't get behind you. You certainly want to keep a double play in order.
Now Coy Hill. Hill, a 204 batter, a couple of home runs and 12 runs driven in. And a first pitch foul ball on a fastball over the screen. Oh, and 1 to Hill. Runner at second base. Cubs in front 1-0. And it's a ball and a strike. Broken bat, fly ball into center. Taveras has it for the second out of the inning. So now the pitcher, Gorzalani, coming to the plate. Left-handed pitcher, left-handed batter. Oh, and 1 to Gorzalani. Runner at second, 2 away. The Cubs in front 1-0, and just like that, 0-2. Reds and Cubs wrap up this 3-game series. It's the end of a 10-game homestand tomorrow night. Justin Lear makes his second start as a Red against right-hander Rich Hart. Tickets available. Come on down to the ballpark. 7:10 first pitch tomorrow night. 0-2 the count on Gorzalani. Rolled out in front of the plate. Hannigan throws him out. Inning over. A 1-out double by Fontenot, who's stranded at second. The Cubs still lead 1-0. By your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Buy JTM, food, family fun, JTM. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by Jeep, have fun out there, Jeep. Reds coming to bat in the bottom of the second inning, trailing 1-0. The Cardinals have jumped out in front of the Mets, 1-0 in the bottom of the second inning in New York. Here's Johnny Gomes to lead it off. And then Vladimir Valentin will bat second in the inning, followed by Alex Gonzalez. Gomes at 273, 11 home runs, 25 runs batted in. A fastball from Gorzolani outside, ball one. If you're just tuning in, the Reds got a one-out triple in the opening inning by Adam Rosales. But Gorzolani struck out Votto and Phillips, leaving the runner at third. There's a jam shot, 2 hopper to short, 1 away. Time for our Geico quote of the game. Following the ball game last night, Dusty Baker telling the press, we're close, real close to getting it together for a long period of time. I just feel it. So 1 gone in the inning, and that'll bring up Vladimir Valentin. All right, Chris, here we go. Get a chance to see this young man that you've been talking about for a couple of days now. Perhaps get 4 or 5 ABs tonight. Ball 1 up and away.
You got to figure this is a new lease on life for him. He was designated for assignment by the Seattle Mariners. Have nowhere to go, and I imagine that part of the deal that had sent him over here to the Reds, as the Reds picked him up, had to do with Bill Bavasi, former general manager for the Seattle Mariners, now one of the advisors, and he runs the minor leagues now for the Reds. So he's got some inside knowledge on Valentin. And you know, the word is out of Seattle, this guy has tremendous power if he's able to stay behind the ball and hit the ball the other way. He's a big, strong guy. Scouts tell me, as I told you last night, that he reminds you of a Ruben Mateo.
That ball hammered. What a play by Ramirez. And the tag is made. Well, that ball hit hard by Valentin. But they had him played very close to the line.
Well, Ramos Ramirez might have lost a step, but his reactions are still very good. And he gloves this ball and is able to throw out Valentin, who hit the wicked 1 hopper down there to the Cubs' third baseman.
Well, 2 away for Alex Gonzalez,
who had 2 real good at bats last night.
Yes, he did. Did not get his first at bat until the 8th inning when he was brought on as part of a double switch. He hit a home run in the 8th inning, had an RBI double after a 12-pitch at bat against Carlos Marmol in the 9th inning. Two and one on Alex Gonzalez. So let's see if he can carry those 2 real good at bats last night into his first AB tonight. Had a good pitch to hit right there and fouled it over the screen. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Alex.
Well, his power is down and in. He likes the ball up and in and down and in. Gonzalez does. You can get him out when you go away to him, but the advantage here that he has over Gorzolani is that just about everything that Gorzolani throws cuts into a right-hander.
Still 2-2 on Gonzalez. And it's popped up. Is it playable? It appears to be. Boy, Corey Hill covered a lot of ground to get to that ball. So catching 25 straight days, not slowing down Mr. Hill. For your chance to win during an upcoming game at your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. Look at that little guy. That's a baseball guy. Your guys are getting so big, Chris, you can't even remember when they were that little.
You're right. That's why you have photographs.
Pull to the right side. Phillips ranging far to his left. That's a nice play once he found the handle on it. One away. Hey, while you're watching the game, maybe getting a little hungry, order one of La Rosa's game time deals. Call 347-1111. Or you can jump online at larosas.com. Real flavor, real family recipes, and real value from Cincinnati's very own La Rosa's. Ryan Theriot lined out to the warning track in right center field. His first time up. Good breaking ball there.
Or you know you have a good breaking ball when you get a whirly bird out of the hitter.
And then you get a fastball on the ribs on the next pitch. 95 miles per hour. May have got him on the elbow.
Yeah, may have got him on the arm right there. You know, and it's kind of a setup pitch. Not that Cueto wanted to hit Ryan Theriot, but you know, you throw a slider down and away. So Ryan Theriot gets back in the batter's box and he says, all right, you know what? I had a bad swing and a bad approach. I'm going to stay in there on this one. And what happens? You get one at 95 right in on the inner part of the throwing arm.
Theriot going to stay in there.
Well, you know, Johnny Cueto last year was second in the league. He and Edinson Volquez both tied for second in the league in hit batters. That is hit batter number 9 for Johnny Cueto. And there is nothing at all wrong with pitching inside. That ball is not all that far off the plate.
Terrio over to chuckle about it with Matt Sinatro, the Cub first base coach. Boy, he's a friendly guy.
Great guy.
He really is. Been around for a long time, a lot of years up in Seattle for Sinatro.
Of course, with Lou Piniella up there. Getting to look a little like Lou. They share the same razor. You know, it's a 3-day growth razor.
You know, you want to start going down that road.
You think so?
I do. Now that you don't have your mustache anymore, you know, do the full, you know, mustache, beard, kind of 2-3 day growth look, coming on the tube, and then just kind of manicure that thing as you move along from coast to coast.
Oh, we'd have to drop the sport coat and the tie to do that, because I'm not so sure the look goes, goes well with it.
If you remember, that look was made famous by the guy in Miami Vice. He was always looking sharp. Don Johnson. And I know that you are likened to him frequently. There's another strikeout by Derek Lee.
I'm not sure I have enough white linen jackets to go through the entire season.
Somebody watching will fix you up.
Little spinner of a breaking ball right there. Not so much the break, but it was the change in speed that got Derek Lee.
2 away in the inning. You know, that could become your signature sort of call. Breaking ball away, ball 1.
Well, maybe
start wearing a beret.
Maybe if we ever have another text poll.
We ought to ask, should Chris Welsh start to wear a beret on the air every night?
How do we go from the Don Johnson look to a beret?
I just think the beret's a better look for a guy like you. There's a swing and a miss on a breaking ball, 1-1 on Ramirez.
We're going to see Mr. Beret tonight and Eddie Shepard.
Yeah. Driving down the road, pulling in a truck stop with his tiny little white puppy dog and a bandana. And wonders why he gets looked at, sort of funny. Here's a fastball in there, a strike, 1-2.
I think they're probably looking at you in the passenger seat.
You might be right. One and 2 on Aramis Ramirez, who walked his first time up. Pulled foul. That's a good pitch right there by Cueto. Again, going down and away with a breaking ball to Ramirez.
Yeah, it's a good job of Ramirez spoiling it. You know, this is what great hitters do. And Ramirez, you have to put him into that category, because he's become a great run producer. He's having a nice year at a .342 batting average, even though he has only about half the number of at-bats that he would have had he not been injured. But you spoil the really good pitcher's pitches and you wait for somebody to hang one.
Slow roll to short. Gonzalez will tap the bag in front of a sliding Terrio. 1 man left, 1-0 Chicago. 2, the beret. 3, grow the mustache back. Or 4, just leave him as he is right now. So again, 1, 2, 3, or 4 to 3, 7, 6, 6, 4. Do you have an early vote yourself?
No, I don't. I have no opinion on that, actually, except maybe leave it as it is. It's a little dangerous when we put our crack staff in front of a graphics computer, is it not?
Take a look at the early returns. Okay, all of a sudden gaining ground, the Miami Vice look. Oh, look at this. First pitch swinging, Ryan Hanigan, a fly ball into left field. And there's that little jump that Soriano does every time he catches a fly ball. All right. Early returns, they continue to come in. Normally, for those of you that wonder at home, I mean, depending on, how the Reds are playing and who they're playing, where they're playing, what time zone they're in, so on and so forth. I mean, we range anywhere, most nights, anywhere from 3,300. We've had as many as, I think, 12,500 text votes. So it's going to take a while to really determine. But we're getting a lot of votes already. And the early leader in the clubhouse, the white linen jacket, Miami Vice look.
The interesting thing is that there's a certain segment of our audience out there that probably doesn't remember Miami Vice. Unless they've been watching the reruns.
Oh, yeah. Of
course, I have all of those on DVD.
See, if I'm you, I'm a little concerned that leave as is 8%.
Better get my phone out right now.
Johnny Cueto drives a ball into right field, and Fuka Dome watches as Fox runs it down. We'll revisit this later and find out where we are. But for right now, it is the Miami Vice look. And I guarantee you, if you're on Fox Sports Ohio, we could give credit to like a local clothier. I promise you, we could have you in Miami Vice attire by the next homestand.
What was the old clothier here in town that would probably have been perfect for that? Adams.
I'm not sure.
House of Adam. House of Adam.
Is that across the river?
No, it was right there, right in downtown.
Okay. But I mean, like Romaldo's up in Madeira, they could get you all fixed up. I mean, any number of guys. Now, that perhaps is an option, but not really. I mean, that would be
more of a play-by-play look.
I thought the same thing. That's the one I was thinking more along the lines. Right there. No, the blonde. Oh, over to the left. Maybe growing the hair a little longer. Two and 2 on Taveras with 2 outs and nobody on. Reds down 1-0. That ball punched down the right field line. Foul.
Now Willie right now is swinging the bat really with no balance under his feet at all. I mean, his torso is leaning forward. When he popped the ball up in the first inning on a little change up away, he kind of leaned out over the front. Look at his front body right there. I mean, there's no way from that batting stance with a stiff back leg and your heel planted on the ground, you're going to be able to really generate any bat speed. Much better that time as he gets a pitch up and in. So he made a quick adjustment and got a base hit. All right, here's the previous one where he just barely put the bat on the ball and just trying to flare it into right. And then he puts a good swing on this one as Gorzelani kind of cuts a ball right over the center of the plate, just above the waist, and picks himself up a base hit with 2 out. I would imagine any pitch early on would be a good time to go. In the course of his career, Tom Gorzelani has not been all that good at holding runners at first.
Oh, and 1 on Rosales, who had that triple up against the wall that Soriano got a glove on in the first inning. And the pitch on the way is taken outside and low. Ball and strike on Adam Rosales. On the ground to Fontenot. And that'll do it in the Reds' third. A hit a man left. We go to the fourth. Cubs lead by a run. Chris, not sure what you drove in today, but at our Fox Sports lot, things don't look too encouraging.
Well, you know, let's hope that that person, whoever drove that Toyota truck that may be underwater by the time this game is over and he goes to retrieve his car, is the lucky winner of a new Toyota Tundra tonight. He may need one. Or is that the FS Ohio parking lot?
It is.
Okay.
It is.
You know,
first time we've seen it from that angle.
I have my questions about some of our tech people. And now we've confirmed it. That says a lot right there.
It's free. High fly ball, left center field off the bat of Jake Fox. One pitch, one out for Cueto in the fourth. Well, the Reds trailing 1-0. Time to ask, pardon me, our Affleck trivia question. Since 2000, what players have the most stolen bases for the Reds and for the Cubs? They're not the same guy. Obviously, one franchise, another franchise. Two names.
I'll give you a hint on that one.
You know the answer?
Well, I have a suspicion.
Straight away center field will back up Willie, but he's got plenty of room. 2 away. Okay, go ahead.
I believe that player is still involved in baseball, playing for a National League Central team, albeit in the minor leagues for that particular organization.
For the Cubbies, you're talking about?
Negative.
No. I'm saying the player who leads the Cubs in stolen bases?
Well, I think if I read the question right, it's the combined stolen bases for Cubs and Reds.
No, I think there's two names. I think
we're looking at two different names
since 2000 in the Reds organization, or the Reds major league team, and then who leads the Cubs since the year 2000. See, now I thought you were talking about Corey Patterson.
I was, and of course, he is in the minor leagues with the Milwaukee Brewers.
Right.
Now, I didn't read the question. I'm still worried about that truck owner that's going to come back and have a soggy front seat.
1-2 on Mike Fontenot. One and two the count, and it's in the dirt. We invite you to visit your Cincinnati area Subway restaurant and make a $5 Fielder's Choice. You select any sandwich on the everyday value menu and then choose to make it a foot long or a 6-inch fresh value meal with chips and a drink. for just $5 at your local Subway. Check swing. Did he go? Gary Darling says, or I'm sorry, Paul Emmel says no. Gary Darling tonight working behind the plate. Todd Tichenor at first. Bill Hahn at second. Mr. Emmel works at third. Three-two on Fondo. He was ready for that fastball at 96 miles per hour and jerks it foul. In the air, right center field, a long run for Taveras, but he'll get there in a 1-2-3 inning for Johnny Cueto. We go to the bottom of the fourth with the Reds still trailing 1-0. Enjoy Reds baseball this season in the Fox Sports Ohio Champions Club. An exclusive new party area offers modern amenities plus unlimited food and non-alcoholic beverages as part of your all-inclusive club seat price. For more information and for tickets, call 513-381-REDS or visit reds.com. You folks hanging up there tonight? Tom Gorzolani to face Joey Votto. Unquestionably, Votto was Gorzolani's biggest out of the night thus far back in the opening inning. The very first batter of the game for the Cubs, Fukudome, homered for the 1-0 lead. In the bottom of the first, the Reds got a one-out triple by Adam Rosales. And up came the Reds' best hitter, Joey Votto. Worked the count to 3-1, fouled off a breaking ball. And then on a 3-2 pitch, Gorzolani blew him away with a high fastball. 2 balls and a strike. Good breaking ball there.
Yeah, that one froze him right there. All the other breaking balls that Gorzolani has thrown him have started at the middle and then broken away from Votto and gone outside. This one he throws it really right at his hip, and the ball comes right in and gets the inside corner.
Struck him out on another breaking ball. All right, we gave you a little while to think about it. It probably confused the daylights out of you. But the answer to our Aflac trivia question: what players have the most stolen bases for the Reds and the Cubs since 2000? Ryan Friel, and you were right on Corey Patterson. How about that? I mean, you weren't even thinking about exactly the way the question was asked
And then in your expert analysis, you still got the answer right.
That was my secret to passing the SAT.
Or getting into
misreading the question.
Lined in the right. It's a good thing you didn't have to pass the test to St. X then. 2 away in the inning.
Au contraire.
They got her in that spot now.
It's a little tougher now from what I hear.
It must be. I don't think there's any debate about that. Here's Johnny Go. Up and away, ball one. We are getting all kinds of text poll messages along with not only people voting on the poll, but you know, it's always good to keep an open mind about perhaps things you should consider. As it's 1-1 on gums, we've gotten a suggestion you go with the Don Ho look.
Okay.
Hawaiian shirts, that kind of thing. A lei maybe wear around your neck on a telecast every night. We have had the Richard Simmons look. Let your hair get a little long, maybe get a perm.
Used to have one.
You can always go back to that well. Here's a 1-1. And it's a strike 1 and 2. So we have all kinds of things coming in. We thank everybody. And we check back in very quickly. Miami Vice still the leader, but a long way to go. We appreciate it, your involvement at home. Thank you. Chris does too. 2 and 2. Gomes more than capable of tying this baby up with one big crack of the bat. And he'll get another chance to do that later on. We go to the 5th. 1-0 Cubs in front. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Cubs bat in the 5th inning. Leading Johnny Cueto and the Reds 1-0 on a Kosuke Fukudome home run to lead off the ninth. We had a very nice on-field ceremony before the game tonight, recognizing the 2009 Ohio Division I state champion Moeller High School baseball team, coached by Tim Held, who this year won their 5th state championship Of course, the other 4 came under the leadership of the man sitting in the booth next to us, Mike Cameron, longtime head coach for the Moeller Crusaders. 1-2 count. He is fouled away by Coy Hill. They run quite a baseball program over there at Moeller High.
They run just about a great program of every sport over there. I mean, including even some of the off sports like, you know, hockey and lesser known sports like golf and lacrosse. Yep. Absolutely. Do a wonderful job. I'll tell you what, though, in high school coaching, when I don't know if you can get any better than what Mike Cameron did over all the years at Moeller.
That one lined into right field, and it's off the wall all the way back towards the infield. Gomes coming to get it, and Hill will stop with a leadoff double.
Now, there's no doubt without Jay Bruce around, you miss a lot of defense in right field. He plays right field very well, aggressively. And Johnny Gomes, you know, is in there for his bat. And he gets back there to the wall. He's thinking maybe about putting a glove up there, but he does not do that. Not to say he would have caught that ball, but it wasn't all that high off the wall as we see it. Of course, if you've never tried to go back on a fly ball and there's a wall right there, you don't know how difficult it is. Remember, Gomes, not too long ago, about a couple of weeks ago, ran into that wall headlong. I think maybe he's remembering exactly how that pain felt. Shied away a little bit from it, lead off double. Cueto's going to have to pitch around.
Obviously, Gorzolani trying to advance a runner here with a bunt.
And this is where Johnny Cueto really ought to be able to come aggressive. High fastballs, letter high against Gorzolani right here. Don't throw that ball down and take anything off it just because you're willing to give up an out. That last pitch at 87 miles an hour. Here's a time you got an arm where you can throw 95. That is a difficult pitch to lay down a bunt on, especially when it's above the waist. This guy's not swinging away. Let it fly.
3-0. One now to Gorzolani. A leadoff double by Hill in the pitch. He walked it. Wow. I'd like to remind you, Saturday, August 15th, the first 30,000 fans in attendance received a bobblehead of Reds Gold Glove winner Brandon Phillips, courtesy of Cincinnati Bell. And the Phillips bobblehead completes that collectible set of 4 that combine to form a special Great American Ballpark backdrop. For tickets, call 381-REDS or go to reds.com. Cueto walks the pitcher, trying to give himself up for an out. And now the Cubs have 2 on with nobody out to begin the 5th.
You looking for a bunt here out of Fukudome?
No.
You're right. And Joey Votto playing very shallow at first base. He's instructed to do that in there. Now they're going to push him back a little bit. Chris Spires, the infield coach that positions the defenders.
I would not be surprised to see a bunt, however, now. Vanilla guy who, you know, may give a guy like Fukudome 1 pitch to take a rip and ask him to bunt on the next pitch. We'll see. Nope. No sign of it there. 1 ball and 1 strike. Fukudome, by the way, does have 3 sacrifices so far this year.
He's also a guy with enough speed to be able to drag the bunt down the first base line. Maybe even pick up an infield hit. At the very worst, you get a sack out of it. Piniella, during his days with the Reds and with Seattle,
played a lot of small ball with those clubs. Would hit and run, use the bunt a great deal. That ball driven into deep left center field. Taveras going back, leaps and makes a catch. What a play by Willie Taveras. The timing on the leap could not have been any better. And up against the wall, he snatches it away, robbing Fukudome of an extra base hit and the Cubs of a couple of runs.
Is that a dandy play? Because it saves a couple of runs. He goes back on this ball and just keeps carrying and goes way up on the screen to get that. What an effort by Willie Taveras.
Great play there by Willie. Now Theriot. First pitch breaking ball is low.
You know, that ought to be the kind of play that really fires you up when you're a pitcher. You see your defender out there throwing his body up against the center field wall on a ball that you made a mistake on, and he brings it back with no damage. I imagine if I'm Johnny Cueto right, I'm staying out there on Theriot now. I mean, he's already gotten drilled in the elbow on a fastball that got on him before he could even blink. And you know that's in the back of his mind because that baby's still throbbing. I'd make him beat me going the other way.
Cubs played a game on Saturday night down in Florida. Aramis Ramirez got hit flush on the elbow with a fastball late in the game. Stayed in the game, went to first, advanced to second a batter later, and had to leave the game. The pain was so bad in the elbow. Double play ball here. There's one, and that's a double play. Pretty slick defense here in the fifth inning. It started with Taveras and his leaping catch against the wall, ending with Gonzalez. The glove flipped to Phillips. The double play, inning over. Pacoro pulling out. He got the last spot, and take a look. Those ducks were ready to swim into the cab. Saw an extra couple of candy bars floating around in there. Now they're going to wait till the water rises and see what's inside that one. I don't think they want to take a look at Jim Day's car. Vladimir Valentin to lead things off. Chris, this young man hit a bullet up the third base line his first time up. And Ramos Ramirez made a very nice play to throw him out.
That was nice that Dusty Baker has a right-handed hitting option to go to, and they face a left-handed pitcher. Ouch.
And yeah, there's the Reds' luck here of late. I mean, you hope Borzolani's all right. It looks like he's okay. But it happened a couple of times in a game last night. And I mean, this is just a bullet. And of course, it ricochets right to the Cubs shortstop for an out. Listen to this. Don't they have, or at least on the push foot, don't they have a steel toe on that thing?
They used to.
They don't anymore?
No. See, what they have on the push foot there, and that would be his left foot, is a little like a molded plastic. You send it out and they dip it in plastic, and it just protects the toes so that when you pitch and drag that front or that back foot, it doesn't wear a hole in the shoe.
Well, Valentin has hit the ball right on the nose twice tonight. He might be on to something. You were the first guy that brought that up.
There's the tough toe. And they haven't had a metal toe on a baseball cleat since the 1960s.
Well, I don't even
Didn't your dad buy you any newer model shoe when you were playing over in Anderson? Well, I'm glad you admitted that.
Yeah, I wasn't a pitcher. I mean, you know, those are the only guys I remember as a kid going down in the Reds clubhouse, and I'd see those things on there, and I've really never paid attention to them ever since.
Well, those were back in the days when the bottom of the shoe was leather, and the metal part would just it would go down around the sole of the shoe, and you'd screw it in with little screws, and then the top part would lace in your laces.
Lined into center, nice play out there by Fukudome. Boy, Borzolani not fooling anybody in this inning, but he has 2 outs with nobody on.
Now, he's only given up a couple of hits in the ball game, and this has been a ball game in which runs have been scarce and hits also have been scarce.
I not probably use the wrong terminology, because I have seen pitchers spike since the 1970s. Maybe it wasn't that dip thing, but they had something else that was a harder surface, right? On the push foot. I mean, this stuff they're using now. How long has this stuff been around?
Oh, this has been around a while. In fact, the transition to this was the stuff they you could buy at a sneaker shop, and it would be kind of a glue, almost like a rubbery epoxy, where you'd squeeze it on there and you'd take some, popsicle sticks and you kind of apply it on there and make your own deal, and then it would wear off and you put another one on.
So now so when you get your shoes from whatever company you get them from, it's already loaded up on there.
Yeah, you tell them, hey, I'm a left-handed pitcher, give me one with a little tough toe on the left foot.
Nice.
Right-handed pitchers put them on their right foot.
Can you get dress shoes like that?
I've got a couple pair if you want to borrow them.
That one thrown into the dugout on a routine ground ball by the shortstop Terrio. So the Reds have a runner at second base with 2 away.
That looks like a routine play for the shortstop Terrio, but remember, Terrio got hit on the arm, right on the elbow, with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball from Johnny Cueto. I think that arm is barking a little bit. He certainly did not throw that ball with very much aggressiveness. Just kind of guided it over there. He's also got a wrap on that arm that he had not had on before. He was bare-armed when he got hit. Now he's playing out there, and he's a tough guy because that had to really hurt. But he's playing out there with a sleeve on now.
Baseball is a funny game. You look in this inning. Valentin hits a bullet that ricochets off the pitcher for an out. Gonzalez hits a line drive to the warning track for an out. And the softest hit ball of the inning, the batter reaches base. 0-2 to Johnny Cueto, who has 4 hits in 35 at bats and has 1 RBI.
Well, nothing but fastballs and sliders on the night for Tom Gorzelani. Reminds you a little bit of the approach that Al Leiter used to take to the mound. Just cut everything, throw it, just try to bury it inside on a right-handed hitter. Not even worry about picking the outside corner.
Al Leiter, pretty tough.
Oh, you're not kidding.
Pretty tough. Of course, the last time the Reds were knocking on the door of the postseason, that 1-game playoff in 1999 at Old Riverfront Stadium, when Al Leiter beat the Reds and the Mets advanced on to the playoffs.
Ricardo Alfonso hit that 3-run home run off of Steve Parris in the first inning, wasn't it? That game sold out in what, 51 minutes?
Right.
Something incredibly exciting about that. That was a great atmosphere in that ballpark, and that's the kind of atmosphere that you'll have in this ballpark when this ball club becomes a contender.
It's funny you say that, because Bobby Valentine told me 2 days later when the playoffs started in Arizona, the loudest crowd he's ever been involved in his life. Visit mycincinnatihondadealer.com. Our National League Central Division standings presented by Honda. Told you about the virtual tie atop the NL Central. The Cardinals lead the Mets tonight in New York 4-3. That game in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Astros very early on trail San Francisco 1-0 in the 2nd inning down in Houston. And Milwaukee will play later tonight against the Dodgers in Los Angeles. Milwaukee winning the opening game of that series last night. Johnny Cueto against Derek Lee. Cueto has struck him out twice tonight. Cueto has 3 strikeouts, 2 walks, has hit a batter, allowed 1 run on 3 hits. The only run, a home run, leading off the game on a 3-2 pitch by Kosuke Fukudome. To Derek Lee. Challenged with a fastball this time, and it's fouled away. Cueto 78 pitches in the game. And we are just underway here in the top of the 6th inning.
Yeah, that's not bad, because oftentimes we see Johnny Cueto throw more pitches than after the first 5 innings.
Off the end of the bat into short left center field. Good jump by Valentine. One away in the inning. Well, that ball will fool you. When you see a guy like Derek Lee take a big swing like that, looked like he hit it off the end of the bat, your natural reaction is to go back. Valentine covering ground to get it.
Derek Lee now 1 for 6 in this series. He has 1 hit. It was a double last night. That ball in the gap. Valentine yelling out, making sure he's heard.
He'll have to chase another one into deep left center field. And this one up against the wall. It'll be a double for Aramis Ramirez. His first hit tonight, second time he's reached base. You know, you're talking about Ramirez and Terrio getting hit by the elbow on the fastball by Cueto. Ramirez got hit on Saturday night, and we talked about he went to first, advanced to second. He got to second base and thought he was going to pass out from the pain in the elbow. Lou Piniella came out to talk to him, and Lou said his eyes started rolling around up into his head, and he said, I think we better get this guy out of the game. He didn't play the next day. He was back in the lineup here last night. Hit by a pitch.
I'll tell you what, both of the pitches that have been hit, or that have hit Cubs hitters, have not been all that far inside. I mean, you see the move that Fox makes. This shows me that he's really got no fear and feels very comfortable in the batter's box. And that's why, if you're Johnny Cueto, you continue to pitch inside. And that's not being a headhunter there. That's not even trying to intimidate. That's just trying to pitch a guy inside. By the way, Fox is a tough guy to pitch inside because he's got short arms, and those guys are difficult to get in their kitchen. But you still have to go in there once or twice to be able to get them off the inside corner, get them off the outside corner so you can go outside with something. Last night in a very key situation, it was Alfonso that David Weathers pitched and pounded inside early and then got him on to chase an outside slider. They're going to go outside early here. Maybe Johnny Cueto has second thoughts. He's going to go back and ask Ryan Hannigan to go through the signs again.
Soriano. You know, you talked about pitching inside, Chris, and I think it's safe to say, you know, the Reds have gotten 3 consecutive good starts in their rotation. Arroyo, Harang, and Cueto through 5 innings tonight.
Sure.
And I'm not sure we've seen those 3 pitchers pitch as frequently inside all year as we have in 3 straight starts.
Sometimes you get so tired you reach the boiling point and you say, I'm coming in there. But it shouldn't be something that you do out of frustration or because you're angry. You do it because it's part of pitching and part of getting hitters out. It has to be part of your game plan. You get these big strong guys like Soriano and Ramirez and Derek Lee feeling real comfortable in the batter's box, you're going to get an early shower every time.
2-1 on Soriano. Came with a fastball in the inside corner at 94 for strike 2.
And he's looking for something outside, and that ball just darted on the inner part of the plate. You know, as you watch Johnny Cueto pitch, you constantly remind yourself that this young man is still learning how to pitch. That 2-2 pitch was a perfect time to get him out. You didn't want to go 3-2 here. Now you risk the runners being put in motion, and he simply overthrew that 2-2 pitch, just trying to throw it too hard.
Soriano has struck out once in 2 at-bats tonight. And lined into right field, a base hit. They're going to have to hold the runner Ramirez at third, and they are loaded for Mike Fontenot. Of course, football season right around the corner, and everything you knew about fantasy football is about to change. Introducing the all-new Fox Fantasy Football. Log on to foxsports.com on MSN to take a look. Dick Pole out to the mound.
Johnny Cueto's slider is really not breaking all that much tonight. He's throwing it so hard that he is getting some spin on it, and it's not coming in there at 95, but it's coming in there in the high 80s, which it's not really biting all that much. I really believe that the way Cueto's throwing tonight, if he mixed in his 4-seamers and his 2-seamers and was able to spot the ball a little better, he could probably throw 90% fastballs out there, because his stuff is that live and that good. And I think he really gave in to Soriano on that 3-2 pitch when he fired up a slider that he knew he had to throw for a strike. That's a first pitch changeup with the bases loaded.
We've talked about all the problems the Reds have had this season, getting a runner in from third with less than 2 men out. The Cubs are dead last in that category in Major League Baseball. 1-0 on Fontenot. And now Cueto behind 2-0.
And you know what, with his stuff and bases loaded, there's no reason really for Ryan Hanigan to be darting back and forth, going to the outside corner, going to the inside corner. Give him a nice steady target behind the plate. Just stay there. Put your mitt up and let the action of the fastball take over. He's got to throw a strike here. Let's not try to pick the corners.
To a breaking ball in there, a strike
for a guy that throws 95 miles an hour.
Well, you pointed it out, first pitch changeup. 2-1 to Fontenot. Came back with another breaking ball in the outside corner. Perhaps a change, but it caught the outside edge. Well, now 2-2 counts. What you talked about. You got to put the guy away.
Going up
right
the ladder right here. I'm not sure, you know, and that looks like a changeup too. I mean, Mike Fontenot's a .230 hitter. He's hitting 179 with runners in scoring position. You throw 95 and you're trying to trick him. I'm not so sure I get that.
Probably throwing fastball here. He didn't. He threw another off-speed pitch to Fontenot. Grounds it foul. Pitch with 1 out in the inning. Cubs lead 1-0. Struck him out swinging on another breaking ball.
Did not give him a fastball the entire at bat, but he got his man, and that was a dandy of a breaking ball right there. I suppose the scouting report on Mike Fontenot must say he is a dead red fastball hitter and do not throw him one. That's a good one right there. That broke so much that Ryan Hanigan had to reach for it. Chase ball 4.
Well, now Coy Hill. Reds have a right-hander Nick Massett, a left-hander Daniel Ray Herrera throwing in the bullpen. It's a big batter right here for Cueto, trying to get through 6 innings and keep it a 1-0 deficit. Another first pitch breaking ball is ball 1 to Coy Hill. Chance shot, fly ball, short center, diving play, and unable to get it to Meadows. 2 runs are going to score. First hit in 7 at bats with the bases loaded this season for Hill, and it's a 3-0 Chicago lead.
They made a good pitch on that, jammed him, and just could not come up with it. Was Willie Taveras, who has already made a tremendous catch up against the center field wall. This time, that's a ball that really is catchable, even though he's diving and making a grab for it right there. Just could not come up with it. So the inning goes on, and the Cubs have extended their lead.
Now Gorzalani. 0 for 1, drew a walk his last time up. And even to Gorzalani, Cueto throwing breaking balls. .100 pitches in the game for Johnny Cueto. Trails 3-0 after a 2-out 2-run double by Hill here in the 6th. 2-2. Well, just about every pitch over the last 3 batters has been a breaking ball, including this at bat to Gorzalani. So let's see what he throws him on 3-2. Threw him a pitch that he could put the bat on, and Gorzalani knocks in a run. Boy, just when you think Cueto is getting it back together, you watch a number 8 hitter who's knocked in 12 runs all year get a 2-run double, and a guy who's not had a hit in the major leagues in almost a year drive in a run with a broken bat single
on a breaking ball.
You really got to wonder about what kind of game plan the Reds are putting together, whether it be the pitcher and the catcher, whether it be the whole operation.
Unless there's something we don't know about the health of Johnny Cueto's arm, I don't understand why we saw so many off-speed pitches to the bottom of the Cubs lineup.
Remember the last time we didn't see Edinson Volquez throwing fastballs in San Diego because he was hurting.
Into this ball game, the Cubs now up by 4 as they have put 3 on the board in this inning. And left-handed reliever, 1-4 on the year with a very nice 2.6 earned run average, will come in to try to retire the left-handed hitting Fukudome.
Well, 2 base hits after 2 are out. And a 1-0 game has gone to 4-0. Chris, I've never been a pitcher in the major leagues. You have. And you pointed out during this inning all the breaking balls thrown by Cueto.
I don't understand it. I mean, if you're Johnny Cueto, really any major league pitcher, I don't care if you throw the ball like Daniel Ray Herrera. I mean, your #1 pitch has to be your fastball, and especially if you're a young, talented, firearm pitcher like Johnny Cueto. The reason he's in the big leagues right now is because he can throw 95 and 96 miles an hour, and to get beat on your secondary stuff by the bottom of the order, I don't figure that. I don't get it. Unless there's a reason we don't know about.
It's not only just throwing the breaking ball, but the thing that strikes me, and again, you pitched in the major leagues, but the thing that strikes me is the pitch selection in the at bat. It's not so much that you're going to throw Coy Hill a breaking ball or throw Mike Fontenot a breaking ball.
Talking about every one of them being breaking balls,
especially on on the first pitch of the at bat. When you're falling behind ball 1, that one in the air and foul ground, it's out of play. And then on a guy like Coy Hill, where you're throwing 2-2 breaking ball, to now run the count full if you don't get the swinging strike.
Now, neither ball was hit by Gorzolani or Coy Hill, who hit very well. Although Hill did hit, Hill hit a fastball, got jammed and hit it. But the idea of pitching is to upset the hitter's timing. And you do that by adding and subtracting velocity. He's not a breaking ball pitcher.
All we heard about when Johnny Cueto was making his way through the Reds minor league system in the first spring training, where we really got to look at him last year. His best 2 pitches were command of the fastball and then the changeup.
Well, his best 2 pitches really ought to be command of the fastball and command of the fastball, and then something that looks like a fastball but isn't, and that would be the changeup.
Another base hit and another Cub run. 5-0.
Boy, it's a shame too, because 5 runs in this inning, or 5 runs overall. Johnny Cueto pitched so much better than what the scoreboard has shown tonight.
Well, you know what, Chris, you're right. But it seems like we're saying that about Reds pitchers almost nightly. And when they walk off the mound, it's still 4 or 5 in the book. And the ERA, of course, during this 7-game losing streak is 5.5. Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees from the Bronx. Fox Saturday Baseball, 4 p.m. Eastern Time this Saturday. You know, Chris, I'm going out to do that Texas Anaheim game. I have not seen the Texas Rangers this year.
They're an exciting
every
ball
time
club.
I look in the standings, they are 14 games over 500. And they're in second place behind the Angels in the American League West. Nick Massett takes over on the mound. And Texas in the wild card, only 3 behind the Boston Red Sox. Strike one to Ryan Theriot, the 9th man to bat. This inning began on a fly ball to left field by Derek Lee. Since in a double by Ramirez. Jake Fox hit by a pitch. Soriano singled into right to load him up. Then Cueto got a big strikeout of Fontenot. But after running the count full on Coy Hill, he'll double the sinking liner in front of Willie Taveras. Gorzolani, a broken bat single to knock in a run. In came Herrera. Fukudome hooks one to right to knock in a run. And here's Theriot with 2 on, 2 out, and 4 in. And mercifully, the inning is over. 9 men back, 4 score. Cubs lead middle of the 6th by 5. Catch that wasn't made, Soriano, and one that was the leaping catch of Willie Taveras. The Coors Light Freeze Can brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Reds bat last in the 6th inning. 5 runs, 8 hits, and errors, 6 left for Chicago. Reds have been shut out on 2 base hits, and they have left 3 men on base. Really, the only scoring threat all night for the Reds came in the very first inning, when they got a 1-out triple by Adam Rosales against Tom Gorzolani. But then the left-hander struck out Joey Votto and Brandon Phillips. Not sure what Lou Pinella's up to down there. Maybe he doesn't know. They're going to double check on Soriano to make sure he was all right. Of course, late in games they get Soriano out of there defensively, but that's not going to happen this early in the game. Lou having a quick chat down there with, looks like one of his trainers. I don't know if something was bothering Soriano. He walked out beyond the third base bag and into the grass area in left field. There's a ground ball to Derek Lee. And Taveras retired. One away to start the 6th inning.
Hey, Reds fans, for great tasting food and family fun, pick up JTM Philly kits, burgers, or delicious barbecue from your favorite grocer. JTM, food, family, fun.
All right, now Rosales, who tripled off the left field wall. That shot we showed you a moment ago where Soriano tried to go get it. And then he grounded out to second base, ending the 3rd. Soft liner. Hey, Gorzelani, this guy, and we know the Reds lineup has been depleted. They've had some other guys that aren't playing as well as they had thought they would play. But here's the guy, Gorzelani, that wasn't able to make the Pittsburgh Pirates starting rotation.
Exactly.
A franchise which, of course, is trying to end a long string of losing seasons. In fact, they're going to break an all-time record this year. Franchise record. 4 consecutive losing years. And Gorzelani could not make their team leaving spring training. This was a guy who 2 years ago won 14 games as a regular member of the Pirates rotation. And I mean, he is just sawing guys off. You brought up the Al Leiter-like approach. He's done that to Taveras and Rosales to begin this inning.
Well, you got to hand it to him a little bit because he's also made Joey Votto look very bad tonight. And Votto, we know, is a very good hitter.
Yep.
So he is on his game, Gorzelani, and any major leaguer out there, when you're on your game, you're going to be able to do some business. But he is attacking the strike zone, and he's kept it really simple. Fastball, slider. He's got a great ratio of strikes to balls there too. 50, and you know what? That's where usually he runs into problems when he does with his control.
Grounded down to Lee, the feed to Gorzelani, and an easy 1, 2, 3, 6. 7th inning around the corner. 5-0 Cubbies. A 2-run double by Coy Hill. Then the pitcher, Gorzelani, a broken bat flare to left to knock in a run. Daniel Ray Herrera took over for Cueto. and gave up a run-scoring single to Fukudome. A 4-run sixth inning. And the Cubs lead 5-0 as they bat here in the top of the seventh inning against Nick Massett. 5 of those hits, 4 of those runs came in the Cubs' last at bat. A high fly ball way back into left field, and Derek Lee has made it 6-0.
Derek Lee was 1 for 6 before that swat. And that was a big one. A fastball out over the plate, and he just hits it high and long, and that is a 6-0 Cubs lead.
Now Aramis Ramirez against Nick Massett. Fouled away on a first pitch fastball. Number 22 for Derek Lee. You know, we were talking about Gorzelani's old team a moment ago, the Pittsburgh Pirates, and right there a developing story as that ball is swung on and fouled out of play. Yusmeiro Petit of the Arizona Diamondbacks is throwing a no-hitter through 7 innings tonight against Pittsburgh. He has walked 2, struck out 3. So Petit sitting in the Arizona dugout right now at PNC Park. 6 outs away from a no-hitter. Gone swinging Ramirez for the first out here in the Chicago 7th inning. To Jake Fox. He was hit by a pitch almost in the same spot Ryan Theriot was hit earlier in the game on a Johnny Cueto fastball. Hit him on the right elbow. Two and one to Fox. Final line on Cueto, 5 2/3 innings, 7 hits. Walked 3, hit 2 batters. So, you know, you look at 5 2/3 innings, that's 12 base runners in those 5 2/3 innings, and 5 of them scored. Roller off the end of the bat to Alex Gonzalez, and there are 2 away in the inning. That obviously is an average of more than 2 base runners per 9 innings. Now, to be fair,
well, through the first 4 innings, he had 4 base runners. Right. If you include the home run, as far as base runners themselves, he only had 3. So it all came apart big time in the 4th inning, or the 6th inning, that is. And he had some help from relief.
Indeed, he did. Breaking ball away to Alfonso Soriano. Soriano had a key base hit in that 6th inning after after Fox had been hit by the pitch to put 2 on and 1 out. Soriano fell behind in the count and wound up getting a base hit, a single into right center field to load him up before Fondo struck out, and then the Cubs got down to business. 3-0. Ball 4 to Soriano. Bassett has worked on an inning plus. He's allowed a hit, a run, the home run by Lee to begin the inning. Has a strikeout and now a walk. Mike Fondo, 1 of 3, had a double to left field in the second inning. Has since fly to center and struck out. Told you the Reds and Cubs will play tomorrow night in the final game of this 10-game homestand. And then, Chris, you'll be traveling most of the day on Thursday, jumping aboard the charter and make your way west to San Francisco. The first time over the weekend the Reds have seen the Giants. And right on Friday night, they will get a look at the man who right now is probably the leading contender for the National League Cy Young Award. Tim Lincecum in a series opener on Friday night. Barry Zito Saturday, and Matt Cain, another 12-game winner, on Sunday.
Yeah, the Zito or the Lincecum Cain combo, pretty good 1-2 punch there at the top of their rotation. That Giant ball club really getting it done with pitching. Their offense is really nothing to brag about, but boy, oh boy, can they pitch.
2-2 now in Fondo. I believe Cain lost
last night.
Yeah, last night they lost to Mike Hampton and the Astros 4-3. Giants are winning down in Houston tonight. 4-0. Jonathan Sanchez on the mound, a 4-9 record. Of course, he's thrown a no-hitter this year. In the air towards left center, and Ballantine with a catch that'll end the inning. Cubs get a home run by Lee. Lead 6-0. 7th inning stretch time presented by Cincinnati Bell. Help select the next Reds Hall of Famer now through September the 2nd. Be a part of the 2010 Reds Hall of Fame fan vote. Sponsored by CincinnatiFavorites.com. Pick up a ballot at the ballpark, a participating Skyline Chili, or log on to Reds.com/Hall of Fame and vote today. Certainly some very worthy candidates. You know, you start flipping through the ballot and you look at some of the accomplishments of all the guys that are on there. Of course, you know, a number of the players, and you start certainly with Paul O'Neill and John Franco. Those would be the two primary guys. Nice play by Ramirez on a sharp one hopper from Brandon Phillips. One pitch, one out. As we begin the bottom of the 7th inning with the Cubs in front by 6.
Now the Reds have hit the ball fairly hard off of Tom Gorzelani tonight and absolutely have nothing to show for it. He has given up 2 hits all night, but they played some tremendous defense behind him. Second time on the night we've seen Aramis Ramirez make a nice backhanded play.
You know, you start talking about some of the guys that are up for the modern day player ballot, and you have 10 guys that are up for vote that you can vote on right now through the 2nd of September. But I was talking about John Franco and Paul O'Neill. Now those are two guys that, you know, after they left Cincinnati, especially Paul O'Neill, but after they left Cincinnati, their career has just continued to take off, and they posted most of their best career numbers in another uniform. Although, you know, John Franco is still second on the Reds all-time saves list. But they are the two, without a doubt, would you agree, Chris Welsh, in the grand scheme of things, they are the two biggest names that you can vote for this year. But it doesn't mean that they were the best Reds that you can vote for. I mean, when you look at these list of players, Brett Boone, the Cowboy, Jeff Brantley, Norm Charlton, Hal Morris, Paul O'Neill, John Franco, Danny Graves, Kevin Mitchell, Chris Sabo, Scott Sullivan. Now, I'm not, you know, I don't know if John Franco or Paul O'Neill will ever get into the Baseball Hall of Fame, but of the 10 that are up for Reds Hall of Fame, they would get the most votes for the Baseball Hall of Fame based on what they did in their careers.
No question about that.
Okay,
absolutely.
Now, you get to the Reds, though, however,
okay,
and what they did in their careers. And, you know, you start with a guy like Sabo. Now, see, I forgot about Sabo being a 3-time All-Star. I knew he was a Rookie of the Year.
That's while he was with the Reds.
Yeah, I didn't know he was a 3-time All-Star. Sure. Of course, he was a member of the 1990 World Championship team and ranked in the top 5 in the National League in doubles 3 different times. Ranked in the top 10 in runs scored in the league 2 different times. Then you move on to a guy, for example, like Danny Graves. I know the end did not go well for Danny Graves here in Cincinnati, but the bottom line is he is the all-time Reds save leader. 2-time All-Star, has pitched in the 5th most games in the history of the franchise. Ranked in the top 10 in the National League in saves 4 different times. Valentina swing and a miss.
Now you're making a good argument for just about everybody on this list, and go on to Scott Sullivan. Scott Sullivan is second on the Reds all-time list for most games pitched. So if you're looking for somebody who had excelled in Reds history, Scott Sullivan has to get some merit.
Without a doubt. You know, you look at the Cowboy, tied for 4th on the Reds all-time saves list, holds the single season record for most saves in a season. Was named the Reds' outstanding pitcher for 2 seasons. 1 year he won the National League Rolaids Relief Man of the Year award
as a Red.
As a Red. So, you know, and then you even get to a guy like Hal Morris, who he led the entire Reds organization. There you get a look at the Cowboy, one of the nominees. But Hal Morris led the team in batting average during the decade of the 90s. Was the team's most valuable player in '94. People forget he was not only the starting first baseman for the World Championship team in '90. He was still there in 1995 when they went to the National League Championship Series. And that '94 club that he was a starting first baseman on was leading the National League Central Division before the strike shut the game down. There's a lot of very worthy guys on here.
That's why it's a Hall of Fame ballot.
No question.
But the unusual thing about this particular ballot, Tom, is that every one of the players that are on here that are nominated are all really contemporary players. We have nobody from the 70s.
Well, I think a different group of people vote on that. I think the fans just vote on the modern player.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Well, there's still a lot of people out there that think the 70s are modern times.
Yeah.
I might be one of them.
You and me both, unfortunately, big boy. That's knocking on the door over 40 years ago.
Mercedes-Benz E-Class, attention assist of the game. And what a double play it was. Alex Gonzalez to Brandon Phillips, turning the double play right there to get out of an inning. A huge double play by the Reds, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Attention assist of the game, and a good one by the Reds.
Arthur Rhodes will take the ball in the top of the 8th inning. Cubs leading 6-0.
You got to hand it to the Cubs. I mean, you mentioned it last night how Luke Pennell likes to manage a team that goes for the juggler when they have an opportunity. And they certainly did that in the 6th inning. I'm not saying this game is over by any means, but they've got a commanding 6-run lead. And they have played excellent baseball. (13-5) over the last 18 ball games. That's the best in the National League since the All-Star break.
Yeah,
20-10.
Yeah, they're rolling.
They are just rolling and rolling. You know, the one thing that I thought really was working in the Reds' favor coming into tonight, on Tuesdays, the last 5 Tuesdays the Cubs have played, they are 0-5.
You brought this up with George. I was watching you guys one night.
And the Reds, over the last 5 Tuesdays they played, are 1-4. So coming into the ballgame, a decisive advantage for the Reds, I would think. Hasn't worked that way so far.
Well, you know what? When you've lost 7 in a row, I have always admired you because, you know, much like myself, you are always a half full kind of guy rather than half empty. And for you to find that little sliver, I like it. It might not mean anything in a grand scheme of things, but you were looking for that one nugget. And that's good stuff.
You know, it's like the old sales and motivation speaker Zig Ziglar used to say. Oh, you got all of his tapes. I'm sure you do too. Every time you knock on a door, you try to sell something, and you hear a no, you know what that means? You're one door closer to a yes. And that's really the way that Dusty Baker has to feel about now. I mean, for every loss the Reds have had, and they have had a bundle of them. But 13 out of 14, yep. 7 in a row. Since July the 5th, they are 5-21. That's the worst in the major leagues. If you don't look at it in some kind of a positive way, it's going to eat you alive.
Nice play there, Adam Rosales. Now Fukudome with 2 away in the inning after a real nice play there by Rosales. Tell you, here's one guy who's been doing it for the Reds all year long. Sir Arthur Rhodes. I mean, we talk about it from time to time. Certainly not the biggest name that made, national press when the Reds signed him to a 2-year deal during the offseason. But if you just break it down to free agents who have done the best at what they are paid to do, there's not been a single free agent that you could say has done a better job than Arthur Rhodes has done his job.
You're not just restricting that to players signed by the Reds. You're talking about players all throughout baseball.
All over baseball, every team.
I could not agree with you more.
This guy's a pro's pro, man.
You're not kidding about that. A serious competitor.
And everybody, I was stunned when people kept saying, I can't believe the Reds did not move Arthur Rhodes. And I would look at him and I'd say, really? They got this guy signed next year for a little more than $2 million. So it's not like that's making a huge difference as to what you can or can't do in regard to payroll next year. If you trade Arthur Rhodes at 39 years old, what are you really going to get for a 39-year-old left-handed reliever? You're not going to get something that's worth $2 million. I can promise you that.
Well, then you wouldn't trade him.
That's exactly right. And that's why I think he's still here and will stay here.
And you wouldn't trade him also unless you had somebody ready to come in and step in and take his place. And right now the Reds don't have that.
Precisely. So why weaken another area of the team looking ahead to 2010 than what you have in the big fella?
Couldn't agree more.
He just overpowered the Cubbies there in the 8th. And many of you have asked us, how's Scott Rowland doing? Well, let's listen to him from earlier today.
Yeah, yesterday I didn't feel right yesterday.
Yeah.
Headache all day, never shook it. Today felt a little better. Kind of normal headaches for all of us, adult males. About every 2 hours. Is that about what you guys have too?
Yeah.
And but we're I think better safe than sorry right now. I just went in and tried to get my heart rate up, and felt all right with that. I'm gonna hit. They want me to do some running, some agility stuff, bend over, field some ground balls, make sure I don't have symptoms or dizziness or anything like that. And see where we are from there.
Well, hopefully he'll be better tomorrow and be in the lineup. One and one account on Ryan Hannigan, leading off the bottom of the 8th inning. Reds have 2 hits in the game tonight. Second batter of the game, a triple by Adam Rosales. And a 2-out single to center field by Willie Taveras in the 3rd against Tom Gorzolani. A 14-game winner 3 years ago in the major leagues. Last year really fell on hard times as he retires Hannigan. He began this year in the minor leagues, did not even make the Pirates pitching staff when the season began. Wound up being brought up to the Pirates, pitched out of their bullpen, was traded along with John Graybo before the deadline, and tonight in his Cub debut has been very, very good.
Well, he's got 1 complete game to his credit, and that's back in 2007 against the San Francisco Giants.
Well, they say he just hit Greg Tatum with that breaking ball.
On Tuesday, September 15th, Bark in the Park is back thanks to Eukanuba. The first 10,000 pet owners will receive a pet food bowl, and while you're at the game, make sure to check out the Reds Dog Zone for product samples and activities. So to get more information and reserve your seats for the Reds Bark in the Park, visit reds.com/dogday. Eukanuba
did a great job on that. I'd love to bring my, you told me last year, not our first Bark in the Park this year, but you told me last year you were bringing your dog up to the booth that night. Now, my dogs are really old. I mean, thank God they're still going strong. Baron Wiley, one of them's 15, the other one's 16. I don't know about bringing my guys down here, but you told me yours is younger than that, right?
Well, right. Now, the one we brought a couple of years ago unfortunately passed away.
I know that.
So her buddy, Chief, who's still kind of a puppy, a little rambunctious. Right. I thought he was just a little too much of a teenager.
Okay.
But he's settled down now. But he also has a new buddy.
Really? You got another dog?
Absolutely. Ellie.
How do you not tell me this? I'm a dog guy, right?
You love Ellie because she's a beautiful little dog.
That one lined softly into center field. A hit by Taveras. A 2-hit night for Willard.
And I'll ask my daughter Grace.
Okay.
Who is in charge of all the dogs.
All right.
Although Max sometimes has to scoop the poop.
Hey.
But Grace will make the decision.
That will go on the rest of his life.
Well, yeah.
The girl gets the good deal, and the guy, it is what it is.
You're right about that.
All right.
And I'll ask her which dog she'd like to bring down to the ballpark.
All right, that'd be great. Well, I'd love to bring mine down. Here comes Lou. Maybe I'll bring my 3rd one down. Bora, she might be all right. A little skittish. Vanilla going to make the change. Well, he's got to be very pleased with what he got tonight from Gorzolani.
Boy, what a way to welcome your team to welcome yourself to a new team. Tom Gorzolani. Boy, what a find for the Cubs.
Certainly ironic, coincidental, whatever word you choose. The very first time that Gorzelani in his career went 7 or more innings in a game without allowing a run was on August the 4th, 2006, against the Chicago Cubs. And here he is pitching for him tonight. In that game he went 8. Tonight 7 1/3. Now that pitching line is not in the book yet. He has to get help from the new reliever, because the 2 men on base with 1 out, of course, belong to Gorzelani. Here's Sean Marshall. Gonzalez a triple and 3 at bats. Two on Adam Rosales. Ground and foul. You know, Chris, I'd be interested to hear your opinion on this. So many of the former Pirates, I mean, they have practically traded their entire team away during the course of this season. You know, starting way back with Nate McLeod, that made big headlines. But I mean, Freddie Sanchez, Jack Wilson, Bravo, Gorzelani. I mean, you could go on and on and on and on. They have traded everybody off that ball club, practically everyone off that team. And you know, a lot of players came out and, oh, they're blowing this thing up and we're going in the right direction. And you know, but what have they had? 16 losing years in a row. Yeah. And I'm not suggesting that means every player on the team's bad, but what is your opinion on that? About moving guys that your organization has had, in some cases, a lot of them, as Rosales has gone swinging, that haven't won for you. I mean, can you blame the Pirates for doing that?
You know, Neil Huntington, the general manager of that ball club, after he started trading away all those players in a flurry, said, hey, it's not like I'm breaking up the 27 Yankees here. So, I mean, if you have a plan, and you present it to the fans and you say, all right, here's our plan. Maybe it's a 3-year plan. Maybe it's a 5-year plan. But if you have a plan and you stick to it, I think that you're bound to have some believers in your community that are going to say, all right, you know, you haven't told us we've had a plan for 16 years, but now that we're going to maybe give you a chance, because they've hit rock bottom there. And, you know, I don't blame them for doing that. If they think that they've got, you know, their evaluators in there, their talent scouts, and that they like the people that they get in return for that talent, hey, and they've got a plan and they're sticking to it. That's better than not having one at all.
Joey Votto with 2 on and 2 men out, 1 ball and 1 strike. Reds are down 6-0, batting here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
But you still have to admit that it's still going to be a very tough road for the Pirates.
Well, you know, I couldn't agree with you more. And the Reds are going to get on the board on a base hit into center field. That'll bring in Tatum, who was hit by a pitch with 1 out. And so we told you couldn't close the book quite yet on Gorzelani. He is charged with so far 1 run after the single by Votto.
Joey Votto has to be one very happy guy that Tom Gorzelani is no longer in the ballgame. Didn't really snip it against the Cubs starter, but he got that left-hander Sean Marshall right there, and Lou Piniella sprinting to the mound to make a change.
Angel Guzman, it appears to be one of the right-handers getting loose in the bullpen. So it will be Guzman coming in from the bullpen. When Marshall retires 1, allows a hit. Reds trail 6-1. Guzman, but he likes it the American way, the English way. He likes Angel Guzman. So Angel Guzman comes on from the pen.
And they've got some talented arms down in that Cubs bullpen, and we saw Carlos Marmol last night nearly implode with his due to some bad control. But Guzman just as good a stuff, as you can see by that strikeout to walk ratio. 36 punch outs and 15 bases on balls.
You know, when you stop and think about that for a minute, wouldn't you rather be called, and you put it even in religious context, angel versus Angel?
Well, if you're from Caracas, Venezuela, which is where he is from, they mean the exact same thing.
I understand that, but I'm just saying, though, if you in the English version and you think about those two words, on one side you have angel and on the other side you have Angel. I'd rather be called angel, wouldn't you?
I lived in Anderson or Terrace Park, I'd want to be called angel. If I lived in
He
Caracas,
still lives there, but he wants to be called angel. Runners on the corners, 2 away. It's 0-2. Guzman against Phillips. Brandon 0 for 3 tonight. Has struck out, lined out to right, and grounded to short. Fastball up and in. Well, you get a long one here from Phillips, and you're not quite over yet. Brandon, 16 home runs, a team high 69 runs batted in. Pause and a pitch coming from Guzman. Breaking ball. That'll freeze you, won't it?
Well, sometimes you spin up a real good one like this as a pitcher, you just miss your spot by a little bit. But you can see the effect that it has on the hitter nonetheless.
2-2 on Brandon Phillips. Struck him out. Reds get a run. And we go to the ninth, where the Cubs lead the Reds 6-1. It was a 1-0 game at the time. I mean, that was a big play in this game in that 5th inning. The Cubs did not score in the 5th, but of course in the 6th. They scored 4 times to open up a 6-0 lead. Joey Votto knocks in a run, his 53rd RBI in the bottom of the 8th inning to get the Reds on the board. And now following Cueto, Herrera, Massett, and Rhodes, a new battery entirely. Craig Tatum stays in there to catch, and taking over on the mound, rookie right-hander Carlos Fisher. And Fisher throws strikes. He is a very impressive first-year pitcher in the major leagues. There's a lot to like about Carlos Fisher.
Well, there really is, and one of the things you really like about him is that he keeps it very simple. He goes out there with 2 pitches, a fastball and a breaking ball, doesn't try to complicate things, although I imagine down the road he'll begin to work on his changeup a little bit, probably in the offseason or maybe in spring training. But throwing strikes is the key. And when he has run into problems, and he's been in 23 ball games, usually at an inning at a time, he's walked 22 batters. But when he gets that ball over the plate and his confidence in that breaking ball, he can be a very effective reliever.
There's one thing you have to say about the 2 guys that have been around for most of this season down in that Reds bullpen. The 2 rookies, the right-hander Fisher and the left-hander Herrera. They are certainly guys that you can, very much look forward to next year.
I think they're
a big part of your team.
I agree, and I think that they've earned that. I think there were a lot of people that saw Herrera make the ball club out of spring training, and then when Fisher got called up, said, well, both of these are going to be temporary, and eventually they're going to be exposed. But far from that. They'll both battle you, and as long as they continue to throw strikes, they've got a chance.
I know all of you are well aware that football season is right around the corner. But of course, a long way to go in this baseball season, and really get 2 for 1 here on Fox Sports Ohio this weekend. This Sunday, directly following Reds Live postgame. Stay tuned to Fox Sports Ohio and catch all the action from the Pro Football Hall of Fame Enshrinement Festival Timken Grand Parade. And of course, that is from the home of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Canton, Ohio. It's a one-of-a-kind celebration. Inductions take place this coming weekend as the NFL preseason begins this weekend in Canton. Rosales in front of Gonzalez, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Carlos Fisher. Reds back in the bottom of the 9th, trailing by 5. Hamilton Company, Cincinnati's office movers, keeping businesses on the move. And by the Basement Guys. Enter to win a free basement giveaway from the Basement Guys. To enter, go to thebasementguys.com. I am told that Jim Day has rated the Nachos at Great American Ballpark better than anywhere in the league. Is that true?
I don't know. He mentioned last night, though, when he was asked in the post-game show, I think the fan question of the night, the fan cam, what's your favorite food? And he answered it as, well, I'm trying to lose weight, so I make sure that I stay away from the hot dogs, but I just love those nachos with cheese.
Wow. Sounds good.
They are good now, I can tell you that. They're looking real good right now.
Real good. Real good. What are you thinking about? You thinking of a little something to eat tonight, aren't you?
I'm thinking about sending Mac out for some right now. The Red Stage Rally, we go extras. You can count on it.
Of course, the way he's growing since the last time I saw him in person, I told him I've seen him on TV more recently than I've seen him in person. Yes, Gomes is hit by a fastball from Guzman. I mean, you may not get any of those nachos by the time he gets back.
Another one of those pitches just in off the plate right there, and the hitter kind of makes a move towards the dish and gets him on the back arm. For as good a stuff that Angel Guzman has, he is a poster child for maybe healthcare reform. I mean, this guy has had just about everything that gone wrong with his arm that you can actually think of. In 2000, he had a stress fracture in his elbow. That was his first season of pro baseball. A couple of years later, he missed a few starts due to some shoulder pain. In 2003, Dr. James Andrews repaired a torn labrum in his shoulder. Finally came back a year later. Sat out several more weeks as he had more labrum and shoulder pain. And in 2005, he missed almost the entire season with soreness in his forearm. A couple of years ago in 07, he went on the disabled list one more time with, again, a strained elbow. Does not seem to be hurting him right now, though. Throwing the ball very well.
Well, he has been a huge part of this Cub bullpen. I mean, they have, kind of been on the roller coaster at times with Marmol and Greg, especially here of late. But Guzman has been their most consistently dependable reliever. There's Ballantine. Did he get enough to right center field? It is gone. So, Chris Welsh, you were talking about this guy 3 days ago. And I mean, here tonight, Vladimir Ballantine has just hammered 3 pitches in this one for a home run. His first hit is a red.
Boy, and it's a long way, too. Talked about him being able to stay behind the ball and hit it to right center field. That's got to make Bill Bavasi feel very good, I'm sure. And the scouting report on him coming out of Seattle is the fact that he's got tremendous power going the other way. And that makes it a 3-run game. Getting a little closer to those nachos.
Remember now, Ballantine, his first time up, he hit a rocket up the third base line, and Ramirez made an outstanding play, leaving his feet, fielded the ball cleanly, threw him out. The next time up for Vladimir tonight, he hit a bullet one-hopper that ricocheted off the foot of Gorzelani. There's the first out in the night. But the ball, after hitting Gorzelani in the foot, went right to Terrio, who threw him out. So 0 for 2. They drew a walk his next time. And that ball was launched to right center field. Lance Nix now to bat for the pitcher, Carlos Fisher. outside corner, a strike to Nix. Reds need a couple of more base runners to have a chance to tie this baby up. Albert Pujols, by the way, has just hit his 35th home run, tying the game at 7 in the 9th inning against the Mets. Broken back roller by Nix. And that broke a drought of 16 games and 61 at bats without a home run for Albert Pujols. He has 35 now in the year, and the Cardinals are still tied with the Mets 7-7, as that game is in now the bottom of the 9th. Breaking ball in there, strike to Tatum. By the way, to finish up the Yusmeiro Petit story, he had a no-hitter through 7. In the 8th inning, he allowed a base hit to Ronnie Cedeno to break up the no-hitter. This ball hit hard by Tatum and will sail over the head of Alfonso Soriano, and that'll be a double to keep hope alive here in the bottom of the 9th inning by Craig Tatum.
Tom, I meant to do this earlier, but let's wish a very fine young lady a very, very happy birthday today. Back on August the 4th, 1924.
Indeed.
Elizabeth Wagner came into this world, and we want to wish her a very, very happy birthday today.
Spent time with her son, of course, who works with us here in the booth every night, Mark Wagner. So Mrs. Wagner, a very, very happy birthday indeed. And your son loves you very much. Talks about you all the time. And I know she's watching. She's hardcore Reds fan. To Hopper and Aldo. Reds get a 2-run home run by Valentin in the bottom of the 9th, but they've gone down to their 8th consecutive loss.